Hi.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah! Celebration!
So happy to see all of you again.
You too. Great to
Yeah,
see you, Heike.
great to see you.
Thank you. All
And
right.
I'm sending a warm hello to Andrea in Germany and to Eytan in Canada and to Matty in the States. I had the pleasure to watch you work for a week in the beginning of this year. And before we go to that, there's you. How did you three meet? Why did you decide to come up with create the moving center? You're so far apart, but obviously you have something that ties you together. So, yeah, I would really love to hear about how this all started and why.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think first of all,
Who wants to
welcome,
start?
Heike.
Eytan?
We missed you. I mean, get a virtual hug, and hopefully we'll hug physically soon. We didn't have time to talk about this question during the week, as it was so busy when we worked with you in Germany. Yeah, my recollection is that I had this as a dream for a long time because I worked in the past with Matty, alongside Matty in Denmark. I used to correspond with Andrea. I didn't know who she is, but I knew she was traveling around the world, and I saw her comments. I remember Andrea. And then we went to we went to Arizona for the 5th segment at the end of 2019. Actually, it's a long time. And then I talked to both of them. And then COVID happened, and then we finally decided to do that. I mean, and the idea was groupthink, not groupthink as both of them like a great practitioners with tons of experience around the world. And then, I don't know, I think COVID happened, and then we had more time, and we actually spent tons of hours. I can easily say hundreds and hundreds of hours just talking, having scheduled meeting with each other, just thinking what we want, what's our vision, and maybe we'll talk about it in a few minutes. What our vision? Why do we want to do it together? Why is it so distinct? What do we bring to the table personally, and then how can we shape it as a whole? But I think the main idea was to bring this work and our ideas to remote places or not so remote places out there in the world, instead of people just coming to us. So then we can also create workshops, because we did throughout the last 2.5 years, we did many workshops, actually turning this work available online and very, very effective. We started coaching and supervising practitioners and also therapists from other modalities, working with parents. So then when we saw you, it was actually after 2 years of online abundance of work and of hours. So, and to my surprise, or it was a bliss, because we saw how it came together, and in the in-person aspect of it, like really matched. That's what I hope you got from it. I mean, that's what I felt. And yeah, I hope to hear from you guys. I mean, from Heike and from you, what do you think about it? But that's how I recollect. My recollection goes to, yeah.
I was just thinking when you were talking, for me, being in private practice, I used to teach preschool, actually. And when you're teaching in a group, especially the kind of preschool I taught in, there were a bunch of adults. So it was a very kind of community, collaborative kind of environment in which to work. And transitioning to just being in private practice and working myself alone with the child, with the family, and then another child, another family. And kind of being more disconnected in that way was really different and um, and something that I find and I, when we found each other in that way and we started connecting and sharing, I think it was the first time for me where I felt like really extremely supported intellectually, professionally, in terms of developing and articulating my thinking and my approach. And then also like a kind of a peer relationship where which we're so used to these sort of hierarchical structures, right? And so that was really interesting for me to feel like valued actually and celebrated and invited in by both of you. And then we did all this work online, which was really interesting and really fun. And I grew a lot from it, personally, and professionally. But then also when we came together in person, it was awesome. And it was cool it's great that you were there, Heike, because you got to be there for that's really like kind of the birth of our in-person work together. I mean, Eytan and I, we did collaborate and work alongside each other in Denmark at the center in Fredensborg. But this iteration of us coming together and being like all three of us, so it's nice that you were there for that.
Yeah, I felt blessed. I felt it was a huge gift, and I'm still thankful that I could like just watch, observe, take it all in, what the three of you had to give. Yeah.
Do you want to say, I'm Andrea, I do want to hear from you, but since you said that.
Sure. Yeah, it's like for me also, it's like when COVID happened and when I just got to meet you two, and I wasn't playing music, but you two were playing music with ukulele and singing, and Nancy was with us, and it was such a fun connection. I instantly connected with the both of you. Just heard of you for many years, on social media, but now in person it was really like a very good match. I could feel and beautiful friendship. It felt like really could happen, and if we would meet more. And then COVID happened, and I think that was a gift for all of us for our development. We would have never spent any near of the hours we've spent. Eytan said it, so many, I don't know, hundreds of hours talking to each other, refining our thinking and discussing. And the workshops, actually, I think we did 7 or 8 workshops with parents, coaching workshops. It was so good, the feedback of the parents and how we could watch each other working and talking. And we have so many facets. It's like a beautiful diamond is with so many shapes and facets and possibilities is there, and it's shining and it's reliable, and I don't feel the pressure of having to function every time because one of you will do it. It's like maybe if I don't have the right words right now, maybe one of you have, and so I have different words, and so we are all accepted, and each of us has its own way of looking at things. And I think it makes it so much richer if we work together as the moving center. It gives me a great base of support, and I can shine, and I can let you shine, and it's like we shine the parents, and that's wonderful, really, and that's an absolute gift I don't want to miss, and I want to continue for more in persons also. And we have one coming up in October again. So please save the date. We will be together between the 10th and the 21st of October in Germany. And in the middle, the 15th and 16th, there will be the workshop. So the workshop is mandatory. And we have either you start with the week of intensive and then have the workshop, or you start with the workshop and then have the intensive week. But maybe in the end, we will send you some notes, or you can always see it on the movingcenter.com and our website, what we are up to. And yeah, Heike, she was
so cool.
then contacting me and to whether she could watch, and I was like, watching us, what's just actually feeling like when we work, or the three of us, we get pretty absorbed in our work. So it's like, how would it feel somebody watching us? No, it's like, for sure we knew that you won't be in the way, and you were offering to kind of entertain the parents or the siblings in between, but that's something completely else happened. So it's like, from my view, what happened, Heike, you were there, you were supportive, you were never disturbing, like you were always asking if you could watch the lesson. And sometimes I had to say no, because in that particular moment I needed some privacy to be just with the child, and I felt like I couldn't have anyone watching me. And some other times I was welcoming it, and I think that's it's an important thing to know also somebody is watching, and at the same time asking myself, what could it be that she could learn from me now? And then it was really nice to discuss sometimes, and hear your observations, and that give another light again on it.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's just, I want to say this congratulations in place, because we all know that you just graduated.
Thank you. I graduated twice, right? I graduated theoretically 2 years ago, and now I got the real thing with a certificate. So yeah,
it was a hard
So
time
to hear your perspective and your thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, I was not even aware that I got to watch like your first workshop and intensive together. And I met Andrea before in Germany some years ago, and I read what you were writing on the Anat Baniel page. You know, Eytan, your comments are always, supportive. I was reading it, but I didn't know who you were. And Matty, I did not really, I didn't know you, right?
Sure.
And also for me, being not all alone through the pandemic, I did the training, I did online, I had people coming here to practice. The situation in Switzerland was quite liberal, but I was so hungry and thirsty to meet people in person. And then I just read somewhere you're doing this, and I was like, life? Is this going to be life? Can I really be with people, and can I really watch someone? Can I learn from someone live, and not on the video, not on Zoom, not. So I just reached out to Andrea, and I got this positive response, and I was like dancing around. And yeah. So yeah, it was, and I didn't. First of all, I was just happy, and I didn't know I didn't expect anything, just really being with people and learning from, obviously, very skillful practitioners. And then it was, and then I saw miracles happen, really. That was just beautiful. The three of you, and you were working with, you were like switching kids sometimes, and sometimes not. So I got to watch one kid with one practitioner and the same kid with someone else, or I got to watch one practitioner with different kids. And it was just seeing it really live, what is possible. And for me, what really stood out, you were using the essentials, of course, slow and flexible goals, and movement with attention, and enthusiasm, everything. And I got to observe how you trusted the process, how you meet every child really where this child is, and you have all the time in the world. You're not asking or suggesting or anything what the child is not ready yet. And there were moments when I thought, oh, he almost like this one great teenager already, actually. He was about to sit up, and I was like, yeah, he's there. And you didn't do anything you didn't sit him up. You really trusted the process, and you knew you have more time until he will figure it out himself. And giving it this time and this trust and this confidence in the child, in the learning, in the brain, this was beautiful. And also for me to learn really, really, really to stay far away from fixing, to stay far away from doing anything for the child, but really going through this process. This was huge. This was
Thank
one
you.
thing. I can tell more, but
Thank
maybe
you.
you want to.
But maybe
No, really.
that it's really nice to hear it from the outside, because it's, you know, it helps reshape and rethink about your work, our work together. Because I think we are actually, because we work and talk about what we're doing a lot, it's becoming totally something that is more than the sum of its elements. But maybe it's a good point to turn the question to the audience. Is there any question from the audience? Hi, guys and ladies. Do you have any question regarding your child? Something that you want to address us as practitioners? We're open for questions. And
Well, yeah, and while we wait for that, I just want to say, Heike, thank you for what you said in the story. And I was just thinking about how seductive it can be to and how natural it is to want to make the thing happen that's not happening, to impose success, and how attractive that can feel in those moments, you know, like we just we see where we know where we think things can go, and we just want to make it be there now. And yeah, the thing that I love also about this is part of the same thought. Working together, it's like being in a context where the respect for the child's learning process, for where they actually are, is, and where we can meet them where they are, like how you said that. And something about working together, the three of us, like I feel that also in relationship to you guys. Like I feel pushed, but I feel met. And there's this kind of like this tension between creating opportunities or looking to refine and grow and get clearer about your understanding or my understanding. But then there's also this kind of being supported and being met. And so it's very similar to what you described with the kids. Basti says, oh, good to see you. Good to see you, yeah.
you. Hi.
Yeah, pleasure.
Start. So actually, we just talked about it, but do you want to recap, Matty, just really quickly? Because I think what you touched upon now is something that we can talk about.
Recap what?
Basti is asking how.
Oh, tell us how he first starts. Oh, sure. Oh, I misread it.
So
I thought you were saying thanks
maybe
for
you can
telling.
go over it in the record.
The first one. Sure. Yeah. So it's a great question. So Eytan and I met working in Germany. In Denmark together, and we lived together there and worked several times together there as visiting practitioners. And then Andrea, we both met and knew from online, but had never met in person. And then in January or February of 2020, just before COVID shutdown like happened,
Yeah, yeah.
we all came together in Tucson, Arizona for an Anat Baniel workshop that was happening. And we had so much in common, and we enjoyed each other. And I remember going to the pool in Tucson. It's like hot, right? It's like my kids are in Boston are wearing their hoods and their mittens and everything, and we're sitting by the pool like drinking,
Yeah,
you know,
same.
juice or whatever. So I remember sitting by the pool with you, Andrea, and Nancy Aberly, who was there, and just feeling like, this feels like real community to me, like in many ways, like in sort of socially, emotionally, professionally, philosophically, in terms of our beliefs, our ways of working, what we value, and every one of us is different, and we bring different kind of colors to the painting, but that's how we started. And then we did a lot when COVID happened. We weren't seeing clients in person initially. We had a lot more time, and we did a lot online together. A lot of meetings, so much talking, the three of us, and working out a way of articulating what our work is and how to deliver it actually on Zoom, which none of us had ever really done before, I think, before COVID, and figuring out how to do that. And then when the opportunity came for us to work in person, starting to open that possibility as well. So
Yeah, and then now we already have this coming as to Germany, as Andrea said, and also to London at the end of the winter, December. Yeah.
Yeah, December.
Mhm. So it's interesting what you said, Matty, about the being pushed, because I feel this is what I feel we're doing also with the kids. It's not that we're not, and it's also addressing what Heike said before. We are waiting for things to happen, and we're doing many things around it, but we are, and this is the playfulness series that we're going to be presenting soon, how we play in a more effective way with the kids. But we are poking the kids. We are challenging them in a
right.
way that is kind of flexible, in a way that kind of invites them in, out, and in a reversible way to start figuring out what's going on, and then wake up to the possibilities and start change and start learn. So it's interesting that you said it regarding yourself, which I have a similar experience. I don't know what about Andrea, but maybe Andrea can talk about her experience about it. But I feel we're doing it with the kids also. I mean, it's like in a very flexible way,
Yeah.
challenging, poking, and then,
Yeah, play is one of my favorite things to do, and I got often the feedback like, it looks like you were playing with the child and so many things are happening. It's like, it's like it's really an inviting them in, and then see how far we can go that way. And then I'm not thinking in any moment of any fixing. I'm just watching the child play and say, that's within the system, within what it can do. It will show when the child is playing. Yeah, so it's like you can see everything the child can do and the child is up to when it's playing in an easy way. So why challenging the child with things that it can't do? It's like, it feels frustrating. So it's like, I can get the child there from playing, and then we can kind of like in stairways, like a little step up, a little step sideways, a little step backward. And so we move as in a dance, and it's a dance of two nervous systems. And it's a fantastic thing, because they teach me too the whole time. So like giving and taking, and it feels perfect when and it's done with ease, and it's never ever hard. I don't feel exhausted. So after an hour lesson, it's like I feel just like, hey, that was great. I go like, hey, that was wonderful. You know, I got so much out of it. That is really, it's wonderful, the work as well, how we do it. And I think we have pretty much developed our own handwriting.
Yeah.
I think each of us has already handwriting, and still we're learning. And with every child, I love to saying that somebody said, when one is teaching, two are learning. So and that is, it's always, it's really, it's what I believe in. And this work and else also in life. And yeah, I'm very happy to for the work I do, and I'm very happy to do it with you too. And so to form a center, and yeah, we invite people to learn from us and with us, and also we invite people that are teaching us. So it's always a taking and giving, and it's an endless, lifelong learning process. I really welcome in my life.
I would like to
And we had one more question from Elena that has been asking what your graduation was in, Heike.
But my graduation was in ABM, Anat Baniel Method, Neuro Movement. I'm a certified practitioner now.
Right.
Yeah. Following your footsteps.
Yeah.
Is it okay that I ask you? I mean, if you said that you have more things to say, but I'm curious as because you're going to start working with kids, and you're working now with adults. What do you feel that you take from this? As we are, also teaching, as you know, mentoring or supervising or working, training, also now practitioners or therapists. Can you articulate maybe? I don't know if you thought about it. What do you feel that you took from this as a practitioner? I mean, something that you may implement, or I don't know. I'm curious to hear.
Definitely trusting the process and giving it time, and not having like the parents in the back, like, yeah, but my child should be doing this and that. No, just seeing the child as it is, and really making the connection to the child's brain and trusting that this child is going to learn. This is one thing. And the other thing, and this is something else that I watched that impressed me. Everything impressed me, but some things I remembered. There was this boy, he was funny and sweet and talking a lot and very playful, and he had this great loving mother, and she was supportive, and she was playing with him and everything, and he was asking questions and questions and questions, but he didn't seem to care about the answer.
Yeah, I remember it.
You remember? So, and I was watching him, and it was like he knows so much. And then at one point, you were using toys, and there was a bigger toy and a smaller toy. And one was like a ring or a bucket, and one fit inside the other. And during this, it came to the foreground that this boy hasn't figured out what is big and what is small and what fits in the other. And so I was surprised because I didn't realize that he didn't have the concept of big and small, or one goes inside and the other. And this was something that really I will remember, to not make assumptions.
That's deep.
He presented himself as if he knows a lot, because he did know a lot. He was talking about a lot. But this thing that we probably, as parents, as practitioners, or whoever is with him, it wouldn't have crossed my mind that this is something he has no idea what is big and what is small, what can go in the bucket and what is too big to not go into the bucket. So yeah, not to make assumptions, really observe and observe and observe and look into all possibilities.
I love that you stopped. Not that you stopped, but I love that you were, as you're ending, you said observe and observe and observe. I was thinking before, one thing that I've been really appreciating about this collaboration, the work the three of us are doing, is both like how it helps me turn my observation more in a more refined way to what I'm doing, to what I'm feeling, how I'm approaching the situations and the lessons with kids, and also supporting the parents and also the kids through the process to become more and more refined, skilled, and able to observe themselves. And this is something in the Eytan mentioned the play class we're going to be teaching coming up. This is like a huge, and I think so wonderful and interesting practice, actually, like developing the capacity to sense your own experience and to be aware, and then be able to meet and connect with another human being, be it your own child or a client, etc. So yeah, observation.
Yeah, and also I think it's great, Matthew, you mentioning it, but I'm thinking about our workshops and also the in-person, and with regard to what Heike is talking about, that she observed it, that you observed it and you realized something that you were not even suspecting can happen. So we're talking a lot about staying descriptive as a parent or as a therapist or as a practitioner, to not attribute intention. I mean, sometimes you do attribute intention and purpose, but you do something with it to what the child is doing, but trying to stay descriptive with regard to what he's doing or what he's, and then it's open, it's more open to possibilities. So are you doing this or that? I see that you're doing this, right? It's because it's easily, we all do it even in our relationship, day-to-day relationship with our partners, or we tend to apply our in a process without even knowing that we don't see really what's going on. We just attribute, oh, I think you're doing that, I'm angry or something. So we're trying to go step backward and use that as refining the space between the parents, the practitioners, and the child, so the child can get more, the parent and the child will be clearer. If it makes any sense, but it's about not attributing the intention and be, yeah.
Like not interpreting, more observing. Is that what you're saying?
Realizing that you're interpreting, because you cannot not interpret, most of the time, but at least realize it and then try to be descriptive and to stay open to what's really coming, then you have more options or more opportunity to not skip what's really going on. So then the child will not skip it, will not go bypass it without any knowledge that something is happening inside him or outside.
Yeah, the child, I mean, this is, Andrea just said it's a dance of two nervous systems. I would like to add, it's a dance of two hearts. And then you have the play, you love the child, and the child loves you because it's seen. And the child, while you're working with the child, cannot fail, cannot do anything wrong. You just give him all the opportunities to grow. And I could see it and I could feel it. When the children come, they're happy to come onto your table. And so are the parents. because they probably had different experiences before, and they were some other places they focus on what the child cannot do, and that's the child knows, they know themselves what they cannot do, and they're intelligent, right? Yeah. So here they are on your table, and some children cried when the lesson was over, and I can totally understand, because I cry when a lesson is over. It's just the most beautiful way of interacting, of meeting someone, of being with someone, and at the same time supporting this person to learn. It's for me, this is the most beautiful thing that can happen to someone, or we can give to someone. So this is I encourage all the parents to take lessons for themselves, to see what they're giving, what they're not giving to their children, but where they're giving it to them. You're giving the lesson, but the parents are bringing the children to you. So it's huge.
Thank you. I see Ramona or Romunik is replying to Eytan. I want to say it's very important what Eytan said, being descriptive in order to see what is really coming from the children. Yeah.
And being descriptive, we found, and now it's working with the in-person also, that it's not necessarily the child will be on the table, not on the table. Everything can happen in the room, but it's like when I'm talking about descriptive, it's like turning into, and we teach parents to do that, how to turn movement with attention, not necessarily into touch or moving, but realizing that the connection, the communication with the child. If he's doing something and you are about to do something and respond, how to turn this. This is what I mean by descriptive. You are turning the communication into a movement with attention element, one of the elements that we're using, right? And in variations in other ways. And then it's really powerful. This is how we discovered that the Zoom was actually so potentially awesome. I don't know how else to just say it, because so many changes we saw with kids just with talking with them, realizing that you can use the language, the pauses, the expectation, creating expectation, everything human communication, how to turn it into something that actually has the elements and the essentials in it, built, interwoven, how you say it, in it, in a way that's creating possibilities for learning, even before you touch the child, even before you move him. So, and I think it's affecting a lot of what we're doing now in the in-person, because I definitely see a huge leap in the way I work now in the in-person. I just looked at, it's like we took the Zoom, what we took out of the online work, and make it vivid and alive in the room. The constraint, it was a constraint, but it was also a great opportunity of not touching, which I had many years before that. I actually played a lot with it. The way I talk with the kids, I worked a lot with autistic kids that wouldn't be touched, or I don't know. And I, at some point, I just let go of the idea that I have to touch them immediately, or they have to be at on the table. I don't care about it anymore. I think we all now, we work with what is and create possibilities, variations, constraint out of that.
Yeah.
But description is I think it's actually it's talking about creating a language that will facilitate the elements in it, the elements of neuroplasticity, of growing, of the essentials, all of these great ideas.
Speaking of constraints, I have a session that's starting now. So I see the child and her caregiver outside. So
Yeah, wonderful.
It's nice to have our first live Instagram live together. Thank you, Heike.
Thank you.
It's
It was a pleasure.
yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Same.
And thanks to everyone who came. We appreciate your interest and your listening and
Yeah.
reflecting how these ideas, how they land for you, and what they inspire you to try or to think or to notice in yourself or in your child. And we look forward to seeing you. Either we're going to do a class about play. We'll be announcing that on our website soon, our email list.
Yeah.
And then we have the live workshop coming up in October in Germany. Anything else you want to announce before I jump off?
Yeah, people who don't know us can go on the website and look at our moving stories. We didn't talk about them because one of the things that we did throughout the last 2 years is actually finding equal ground with other modalities. So we have interviews, conversations with Paul Majul from the Listening Center in Toronto. We have with the brilliant Dr. Zelinsky. And then we have our mapping. You can watch a lot and see a lot of things on our website, and then feel free to connect, communicate with if you need anything. If you're a practitioner that want I don't know, mentoring, or if you want to join in one of our next trips to Europe to help like Heike did, reach out and we can talk about it. And especially if you're parents, you can reach out. We'll be here to talk to you.
We have one more question from Elena. So, yes, do you allow physiotherapists and other therapists to attend your lessons and workshops? Personally, I did in the past, and we all, I think, did in the past, and especially we welcome all kinds of therapists, caregivers to our workshops, because this is really where the change and the magic is happening. So also for you. So we share our views, and and it's the best possibility to open up the space for learning and just for being in a different way. So with the child you work with or with the child you are with. The physiotherapists that we had 5 that were just so amazed by the changes, and they keep saying, and we have also an interview with those therapists that are saying, Matty is going to leave, so he just drop out and say goodbye. And I just finished my sentence. Bye-bye, Matty. Great to have you. Bye. Big hug.
So good to do.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And so the physiotherapists were really happy, and they say it has changed dramatically their way of working, how they now wait for the child and not just apply things to the child, like movements to the child. And that is I think that's one of the greatest gifts we can share.
Yeah.
So wonderful. That's one way. So they keep learning, and the next time they will be attending as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Elena says she finds it difficult to explain to other parents of kids with special needs about this approach. Yeah, that's often seen. And please just refer them to us. It's not your job to explain what we do. Just refer to us. We were happy to talk. And you can only say something like, hey, it helped my daughter so much. She is now able to, I don't know, whatever. You could kind of like you see changes in your child. You can describe them. And I think that is like first-hand experience. That to share is making up for knowing what exactly we do, because it's in the process we are working in. We don't know ourselves what we are doing because it's born in that moment. It's born in the moment of doing. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. Just it's like it's an exchange, and that in the moment it's happening, it's done. So that is so difficult to explain to others. Of course, when you are a parent, when you're not a professional in this profession. So we can explain it in different ways to a different audience. It's always important who is asking. He gets a different answer, of course. And yeah, please just refer, and we are always happy to help out and have a chat. And I do that regularly, and people can ask, and every one of us is available for that. And for sure, we offer, it's always free, just asking us. So please reach out.
Yeah, exactly. We have I have many parents that reach out to try to find out what we're doing, and then we have like a 20-30 minutes free conversation with one of us. Actually, we do explain it, I think, perfectly, because we do teach them in the workshops, or in one-on-one series of work, how to apply it at home. So, but maybe as Andrea said, we're not expecting you to try to explain it, but you can try. I mean, you can go on the website, on the Facebook, you can hear our interviews or the moving story we tell. Maybe, I think you can dig and find ways to explain it, at least in a general way. But thanks for asking.
Heike, it's getting quiet in your corner.
Yeah, I was wondering, we've been talking like for almost an hour.
Yeah.
I'm happy to stay if there's more to talk about, or if, I don't know, you said next time you're gonna have the subject of playfulness, how you play, how the child play, how you play together. I think this is it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to listening to it, although I already heard some of it in what was it called, summer camp. So I listened to your presentation. You started to talk about playing, and I mean, playing is fun. So, and learning is fun. So if you bring playing and learning together, it cannot be anything but amazing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
it's going to be a series of 5 to 6 meetings live, and then it can be a recording, so available as a recording. And we're going to starting kind of present our approach to learning through play, because we do it a lot. Play music, play as an approach, and I think you saw some of it in the intensive week that we did together, in making something into a surprise, creating expectation, different outcomes, and how quick the kids are waking up. So
absolutely.
yeah, this is going to be really soon, the next few months, I think 2-3 months out there. We'll announce that.
Cool.
And we have a comment of Elia. Like, often parents find it overwhelming when the exercises they have to do with the child, and worried this will even more something to do for them. So, and also, but this approach is so different. Yes, yeah, it's like it's hardly that you get any homework than just be more attentive with your child and get to feel, to connect with your child. I think that is the biggest homework we will give to you. So, and of course, you will see how your child is developing and using what it has learned, and it's an ongoing process. Yes. Thank you for that.
Thank you. So if we don't have any other comments or questions, or if you, Andrea or Heike, want to say something else, if not, we can maybe...
we take it for the next time.
Yeah, we should do that soon. We might start a live session soon. We'll announce that
regularly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. It was fun. It was fun talking to you, seeing you again. This time again through a technical device. Looking forward to seeing you live next time.
Yes.
And for me, it's like almost good night. Eytan, for you have a day in front of you. Andrea already switched on the lights. And Matty is back to work. So isn't that great? This, connection all around the world. Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Thank
All
you,
right.
Heike, for being with us. Thank you for having.
And
Thank you for
yeah,
having
I
me.
will
Thank you
be
for the
recording
exchange.
this conversation will be recorded,
Mhm.
and probably you're gonna find it on our website
All right.
Yeah.
or wherever it will be available, but it will be recorded. We'll let you know where it will be, that you can
Somewhere.
rewatch it
Okay.
or watch it for the first time. All right.
Thank you so much. Giving you a
Bye
hug.
bye.
Thank you very much.
Have a good time. See you
Thanks.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.